வேண்டுதல் வேண்டாமை இலானடி சேர்ந்தார்க்கு யாண்டும் இடும்பை இல. The meaning of this Quran is the trouble of life do not touch those who have taken refuge at the feet of the one who desires nothing and rejects nothing.
Namaste, Namaskaram, Vanakkam to all the viewers of Vidur Voices. Today, once again, we have the privilege of having Sai Poguluru Garu and Lakshmi Garu with us. I do get goosebumps when I introduce their names, given the kind of impact that they have had with multiple discourses that I have heard from them. Our audience at home were delighted to hear from them. So it presents an excellent opportunity to hear from them on the occasion of Ugadi, Gudi Padwa, Vishu coming up, and also Puthandu for Tamil viewers are coming up. First of all, I would like to wish everyone Ugadi Subhakankshalu, happy Gudi Padwa, and also Tamil Puthandu Nalvarthikal if you are like it's just a bit away. And happy Baisakhi as well.
Yes. So as like just Karthik said, as millions of Hindus across the world are welcoming the Hindu New Year, as they term it now, we take this opportunity to really discuss the Hindu Panchangam on how it is, on the algorithm that it's based on, and to help people understand the various facets of the Hindu Panchangam and also very basics of it as well. And this being Chaitra Navaratri, we feel really blessed to do this session at this time. And Rajiji joining it is just a bigger blessing from Ma Shakti herself. So if we could request Rajiji, can we start the podcast with a shlokam or any Sangeetam from you?
So we will start with Ganesha Stuti.
Yes, wonderful.
Maybe I'll keep it short because we don't have much time, right? So let me just start the Shruti. Vatapi Ganapatim Bhaje Vatapi Ganapatim Bhaje Vatapi Ganapatim Bhaje Ham Vatapi Ganapatim Bhaje Ham Vatapi Ganapatim Bhaje Vatapi Ganapatim Bhaje Ham Vatapi Ganapatim Bhaje Ham Vatapi Ganapatim Bhaje Ham Varana Varana Shamara Prapante Varana Pradam Pradam Seva Tapi Ganapatim Bhaje. Think we'll stop from here.
Thank you
Thank you so much. It was wonderful and set a very, very beautiful tone to the podcast. Thank you so much, Rajiji. So, like we were just discussing, if we could just start on what is the Hindu New Year and what is a Panchangam on a very basic level, and then we can take it from there.
See, our new year has always put in the context of relevance to the nature. So there is nature and it has patterns. So Srushti Sthiti Layam is a part of nature. So whenever you see something new, means new energy coming out, new beginning, you should be able to look outside and resonate with the nature.
Right.
So here we see everything is right, like the birds coming out and singing. They are able to sense that renewal of life and energy is happening in the universe. So there are three main systems: Chandramana, Sauramana, and Brahaspatyamana. Chandramana is based on the movement of moon, and Sauramana is based on the movement of sun. They are very closely aligned. They are like 15 days apart, kind of a thing. They even have the same names for the years. So again, typically for using a certain time and occasion, you complement with both. And there is a third thing, it's called Brahaspatyamana. It is based on the stars, nakshatra. They are complementary, and these are actually calculated based on a geolocation, right? It is actually typically 80-kilometer radius is what max it applies to. After that, there are certain variants that you need to take into consideration based on the time, because this is all moments of the certain celestial bodies. The Navagrahas that we consider in this are those celestial bodies that have significant impact of their energy on Earth and those living on Earth. That's why we should not get confused between this modern day science definition of planets versus our definition of planets. We are not really using the same definitions, right? So here it is impact of those bodies and their energies on Earth and those of us living on this Earth.
Same like how moon impacts on the tides, right? Everybody knows, like science also agrees with that. And science, like how the moon, in a full moon, the tide is high and low. But the same thing will happen even the impact of all the planets, which I think the Western science is yet to identify that, or they need to understand those things. And these are the major grahas. We have many grahas, and not only the grahas and also the rasis. I mean, if you wanted to, you're talking about Panchanga, right? So the new year, usually people will start with what's good, not only for themselves, for the whole universe. And adding to that, not only the seasonal change, because from winter it going from spring, and spring is if you see even symbolically, anything which grows, anything which starts, that's when the trees will start budding and flowers coming, and even the animals and even the birds, they'll start having a warm environment around, and they'll also grow in numbers. So it's a symbolism of nourishment. It's a symbolism of growth, and usually the growth which starts from the beginning and how it grows, right? So that's why a new year is considered not only from the different ways, how whether it's lunar or solar or Chandramana or Sauramana or Brihaspatya, but also seasonal changes, and of course the crop perspective. Now in India, because it's most of the place is hot, and you will get the crop here at this time, harvesting. And harvesting time is a time of where again nourishment, growth over there, and people are happy because it was mostly done. Farming was a major part of the food chain and also the economy. So in various aspects, like you can see why this is considered as a new year, not only if you see in India, but also in South Asia, like Chinese New Year is there, and also other part of the places. So the whole South Asian pan, it aligns with the season and also with how the planet movements are there.
It's beautifully explained, Saigaru and Rajiji. So one of the confusions that we always had, even during the school times, thanks to the various governments that came in and out in the Indian spaces, that we will move it towards the Pongal and then have it. But I think this is a beautiful, even scientific explanation of, like, say, why do we treat April 14th in Tamil Nadu as a new year, or somewhere in March, like, say, based on the Tithi, we have Ugadi being celebrated in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, or even Gudi Padwa, for example.
Basically welcoming the Chaitra Masa or the Chitra Masam, as we say, right? Like the welcoming of the spring.
It's basically like beautifully summarized that kind of, and also kind of you
led us to another question, which we were really inquisitive about asking. We all chant Aditya Echa Somaya, Mangalaya Budaya, Guru Shukra Shanibhyascha Ragave Ketave Namaha, right? So why is Aditya, why is Surya a Graha? That's something that's always,
Like,
because modern science calls Surya a star, right? So why did our ancestors look at Surya as a Graha?
So this is a loaded question. Probably we'll just
We'll slice it.
first of all, the Surya. When we look at Surya, sun, Suryan, whichever language in India is, says that we are not looking at Surya as a Surya Mandala. That means it is not just a mere fireball. We are looking at Aditya Hridayam. So what is the source of that energy? That is what we are admiring. We are not admiring that nuclear activity that is continuously happening, generating heat there.
Okay.
But what we are saying is, we also simply recite a small shloka. I think the clock has...
It aligns with the spring.
Yeah.
So, Namas Savitre Jagadeka Chakshuse Jagat Prasuti Sthiti Nasha Hetave Trayimaya Trigunatmadarine Virinchi Narayana Shankaratmane. So, what we are actually calling Aditya here is Jagadeka Chakshuse, the one who is actually able to see the entire universe. The one eye that covers the entire universe. Shushti Sthiti Nasha Hetave. So, the science, if they understand how the dissolution happens, because at that time, Puranas beautifully explain, saying that at that time, all the water gets evaporated because the sun intensifies the energy, and that what now, if we go back, the definitions of the planets and grahas are mixed and confused. We are not looking at sun as a mere body. So we are trying to understand what are the rays of sun, what are the effect of sun, and sun rays are typically sahasra, 1,000. Literally, there is 1,000 grouping, 400, 300, 300.
Types of rays.
Types of rays, and each
Sun.
one has a name. So, set of rays are responsible for producing heat, set of rays are responsible for producing rain, set of rays are responsible for snow, himasarjana kiranam. So, like, these are very clearly understood, because anything that can travel fast, the fastest, is called Ashwa. And what we happen to see, that
An
is
animal which
Horse.
that fastest.
we named it as, it's not the reverse. Usually we think Ashwa means horse. That's what comes
Oh,
to.
yes.
But Ashwa means a ray, because sun ray is fast.
Fast.
It goes fastest. And that's why even for horsepower, like still, if you think the horsepower is the fast thing is used. And to your question of why sun is a graha, why not? Is like we are thinking that in from Western perspective, because we are all learned that sun is a star, but actually it is a graha. What does graha mean? It's not a planet. It's not a direct translation. Graha means anything which is seizes or which is holding or which is grasping.
Okay.
So any planetary object which has bodies which influence the human life, or both anything on the earth or even in the universe for that matter. For us, it's not just earth. Our focus is not earth. If you see in our Vedic, in the Vedic science or Shastra, it includes chara achara. Anything which has influence on anything on this earth is where we can focus. And so that's why it's called Graha, because sun also has impact on us. That's why it's called Graha. It's not because how Western have identified, divided the planetary things into planets or stars. Here, anything which has impact on us, that's called Graha. And that's why sun is also a Graha. And there are Aditya, when you said Aditya, there's only, we know the Milky Way or Akash or whichever the way, if you see it, it literally came from there. There are multiple of them. And Bhanu Mandala or the Surya Mandala or Aditya Mandala, it's all refers the same thing. But there are many of them actually. It's not just one.
We have Dwadas Aditya.
So each Dwadasam, you know what the number
Number
is?
12.
12, right?
Number
12 Adityas. So every Adityas have their own mandalas too, right? So that's a multiverse and multi-universe type of concept. And that is why all these things have impact on us. And that's why it's called Graha. Now,
The answer is
I
very
think,
clear.
I think just to summarize, right? Like say, it is not based on what we feel like or what we see. It is the reverse of like what impact that these celestial bodies have on us. So when you were actually answering it, I was thinking around like say some planets like Neptune and Uranus are so far off. How is it that they are going to have an impact? But at the same time, when I look at the answers, right? So their movement with respect to sun, right? And their gravitational pull probably, right?
And like they said, it's not just human impact, it's all the living beings on the universe. You see, like you always say, right? There are so many Aneka Koti Brahmandas. So they're more than what the human mind knows. They have an effect on that. And I really appreciate the definition of a graha that you gave us. That throws more light to what we understood. Literal translation is what we take it as a planet, but that's not what it is, right? So that was something very
and to
interesting
be honest,
to know.
we don't have the main 9 grahas. There's no Neptune in there.
Yes.
Yeah. See, Farad, like you said, Aditya, Somaya, but each one, we actually says that how it even came about, right? Say, like Japakusma Sankasham Kashyapeyam Mahadyutim Tamorim Sarvapapagnam Pranatosmi Divakaram. We actually know the lineage. We even explain prior to sun universe. Starting of the sun, starting of life. So when we talk about creation, that goes into so deep. On the Panchanga Shravana day, we say that how many years have passed since the Srishti Adi, Kalpadi, when the Kalpa, Mahakalpa started, how many years have? So that is actually meticulously given in the Panchanga. We don't pay attention to all of these things. That is one thing. Maybe if we want to move on to the Panchanga aspect, we can go.
No, definitely. Like, sorry, a little bit of an extension to the same question, right? Because this has been lingering in my mind ever so since. Like, we only go to Panchanga for, say, dates or festivals. Oh, or this is happening.
Or good times.
At least to my knowledge, we haven't been exposed to why do we need a Panchanga? Like, what is the real bedrock of Panchanga, right? Because your article kind of exposed a lot about, like, say, the 5 pillars, for example. How do we actually go with it? Or even, like, say, the AI aspect of it. Like, say, how much learning has actually been done without any technology, right? Probably, once again, a loaded question, but to just break it down, like, is there anything beyond festivals and dates that we can go to Panchanga?
See,
Before I just want to without technology, what you said, I want to correct that. What you think of technology is different, right?
Yeah, okay. Modern technology.
No, the reason I wanted to specify that is, unfortunately, we feel that the ancient or the Vedic period is not advanced or it's not
technical.
It is very technical. It's very advanced. It's very scientific. So I just want to put that into context.
Pardon my ignorance.
I really, that's a very good point, because the moment we mention the term technology, it is just, it is equated to modernity, or rather I can even say it is equated to Western modernity. That's what they equate it to, right? So that's something that we have to unlearn when we start learning these things.
Yeah. So, or rather, let me put it this way, like, not enough modern tools. Like, I first went to Tanjore Big Temple. I still wonder, like, say, they didn't have lifts. They didn't have, like, say, mechanical lifts, or, like, say, somebody can operate. These days, we just put a block right on top. But the sheer strength or the imagination and the engineering beauty is still called Leaning Tower of Pisa is an engineering mistake. It's an architect. It's not an architectural wonder or engineering wonder. It's an engineering mistake. While this piece of beauty or marvel is something beyond my understanding, right? That's why I see Panchanga as well, right? So much information, but how do we kind of, what all could we get from Panchanga? Like, and our scholars were able to kind of decipher it without any tools, let me put it this way, like modern tools, like say, they didn't have satellites that was going around, at least that's my belief.
Yeah,
What
but
I
very
feel is technology, the Vedic technology, the science or Shastra is non-invasive. That's the reason it's very eco-friendly.
friendly.
It's also takes care of the ecosystem, and that's the real science, right? Science, which is very narrow scoped, is not actually a science, right? And so, to your question, I'm leading to your question, and whether it is to know about the cosmos, or whether to know treat a human body, or whether to come out the way of living for advancement of the human, everything was done in a very scientific way without impacting the nature or the environment and long-term impact, right? So going to to your question, how they were able to do without any telescopes or those things, because they were able to find a technique which is very advanced without using invasive things. Because they were able to go to start that level of your mind, human mind, beyond the human state of mind, where you are able to align to the nature's energy. For now, we can say energy. So in that way, they can see those. That's why they call drashta. They can perceive it without even sending anything from here, right?
Yeah,
So,
because that is the definition of Rishi or Muni. We say that who has transcended the human state of consciousness into an enlightened state of conscious. They were able to see the knowledge within the universe and they gave it to us because it helps us also walk that path. We will take an example. Just coming back to Karthik's question, right? Like we'll come back and say, we'll use a simple example. A sophisticated economy, why don't need a forecast? It is like, so we will try to, but don't be too stuck. I'm requesting the audience not to be too stuck with this analogy. A sophisticated economy forecasts its growth,
Yes.
its deficit, it's spent in different areas at a meticulous level. It is forecasting interest rates. Naturally, Karthik and Sai will go to the bank only when they need to either invest or borrow. That is how we are using Panchanga. Whenever we need, we are going.
We go.
But
Right.
Panchanga exists just like the sophisticated economic forecasting model. It is forecasting broader universal pattern, broader economic pattern based on the nature. Actually, forecast how the rain is going to be in each region. So that means how the bounty of earth, whether it is fruits, produce, how much will be there. So this is a forecast that you are taking it, like Raji said, your body and mind also is in tune with the nature. When do you get a certain key procedure done? Today, if you go to an emergency room, they will say that certain types of patient intake is.
it's basically during the full moon day or Purnami day. Usually had like the many births. Like when I went to the hospital, like when I was pregnant second time, and there was some test going on. They said, "Oh, it's a full moon. We'll have more patients coming in." I said, "Really? Oh yeah, that's stats," and that's what they say it. And I know it may feel weird, and we didn't even know the fact that that is the case, and we are doing it based on stats, which is okay. That's because, as you have seen in the previous thing, our Shastra or science is both para and apara, right? So anything which relates to the Laukika or the material is called apara, and para is the one which helps you to go beyond to the normal human state, right?
So basically, like Raji said, even though you're based on the statistics, even here right now, modern day medical procedures also take Amavasya and Paurnami into consideration. But what we are saying is it should not be a statistical driven. It should be a deeper knowledge driven, because this is how the universe is acting. Especially psychiatry patients, they have a higher vigilance during Amavasya and Paurnami.
Yes.
Like we are saying that the moon has a significant impact on your mind.
Yeah.
We just confine it to a romantic aspect in most movies across the globe. No, that is very narrow view of it. It has much broader, much deeper impact on it. Our Shastras have studied, and that is why. So just coming back to this, forecasting is done so that you can take advantage of it the way that you would like to benefit it from. And of course, one of that is when you say that this universe has a sophisticated ecosystem that takes care of the universe, that we call it Devata Vyavastha. We so wanted to offer them so that we get 10 times in return, because all poets use the same metaphors. Just like the sun is taking the water and gives back 10 times, and the kings during Raghuvamsha, they used to actually take 1/6 of the earnings as the tax, so that they can give it back 10 times. It is reinvested. And this forecast actually were helping with the tax system also. In Raghu dynasty, they used to say that if the forecast is not good, they are going to exempt. Now it is all reactive, right? Like the bad crop.
Right.
Now they were always proactive to say, be careful, make sure that I will only tax you if you have benefited and net benefit, if you have realized it. So it is used in multiple levels. That is why we have been far removed looking at Ramayana, Raghuvamsha, or so many Puranas, Shiva Puranam, all of these things. He said that, oh, this is like either a mythology or a nice story. But they talk about such a sophisticated way of living, ruling, governing, and the ecosystem of everyone working together.
In a nutshell, like Panchangam is the ecosystem that our belief system was built on. And to me, it feels like, once again, giving a modern twist to it, is that it's more than an encyclopedia where if you kind of drop a penny into it and kind of do more research, you can actually get dollars and dollars from it.
Yeah, and
right?
like from what you said, what I understand is it's more of a forecasting tool than a predictive tool that we are. People casually call it as yearly predictions, right? But a forecasting tool is definitely more powerful, both on an individual level and on a universal level. Like you said, both on our social, personal lives. Just adding on to the same question. So is Panchangam does it have both the astronomical and the astrological aspect, or is it just the astronomical? That is my next question.
No, it has both.
Okay.
Basically, as we started with saying the new year, why it is because the Grahas and the impact on us, right? Panchanga means, right? Like what are the 5, right?
Tithi,
Vara, Nakshatra, Karna, Yoga. Those are the 5 angas. That's why it's called Panchanga.
Panchanga, okay.
And this Panchanga, like if you see, your question is whether it's astrological and astronomy.
Yes.
Yes, it is astronomical because it is, if you know, we have 27 stars and each, but there are only rasis or
they are grouped
into 9.
Right.
And if you see, you cannot divide 27 by 9. So there are 4 padas, or each nakshatra has 4 padas. And so 108, 27 multiplied
27 by 4, 108. But further 108 is distributed across 12 rashis. So how do you do that? 108 by 12 is 9. 9 padas come in there. So there is a further, even though you are in one nakshatra, you could be in Kritika nakshatram, you could be in Ashwini or Bharani. Sorry, Mesha.
Mesha.
Or Rishabh Rasi. Correct. Yes.
Yeah, I just got a little bit scared given that my Rasi is Rishabham and the predictions or the forecasts. Okay, let me put it this way. The forecasts are really good, and suddenly I thought I should go and search for something new.
Yeah.
No, no,
So
no.
basically, I will just touch on one because this is called forecast, prediction versus forecast. A mother, again, not stereotyping because we all need to eat. Mother
Right.
will forecast the food to be ready within 1 hour.
Yeah.
That forecast is based on the assumption that the heat is turned on of the burner or the gas stove at a certain speed and the water is appropriate and everything else is at a stage. In winter time, the amount of heat that it takes to cook and the time it takes is different than the peak summer. Peak summer, if you have actually soaked the rice and dal well in advance, probably it would take half a time in India to cook it. So this is, see, if we don't even understand how cooking happens, then we say that forecast versus predictions, we are coining these words so loosely. That's why we put myth and ology together.
Yes.
How can a myth be ology? So, and by throwing a term scientific, oh, this is like scary. Oh, it is so sacred. No, how we have seen, there is a 20-page research article we have written, we'll probably publish it soon, is don't take word scientific at its face value. Not scientific, don't agree to it. Because just like what we were discussing before, right? So technical and scientific are loosely used. There is no global standard for it.
Right.
So we've been in this.
We recently, when was it? ISO, like if you know the ISO standard.
Yes.
There is also thing you can come out with your own way of doing thing, and that can be a standard.
Yeah.
So, so what does really scientific mean is like we wanted to. That's why recently we had a question. What does really scientific mean? Is it something which is accredited by or somebody on the Western side or Western science have agreed, or that is what we were thinking. But I think the question was more on whether it's astronomical and astrology, right? So astronomical, we did mention how each nakshatras, each individual's nakshatras, and how it'll come into their rasis and how the grahas will impact them, right?
So there are both aspects.
Both aspects of it, and how it impacts not only the individual but also for the plants, animals, and the universe per se, and also the climate. And as a result, it impacts the individual, the family, the community, the country, and the universe in a whole. So in a different levels, it shows. It also shows even to the Panchanga doesn't not only mean have this one. It also says when the earth has begun. Actually, every Panchanga or that year, it shows exactly how many years it has been passed from this
since
the creation of earth. And then it also, of course, goes about all this thing, and it shows how the impact of even how not to brush the teeth. You may be surprised to do that.
Which days you don't see? This is what this is very, very, very fine tuned. We take less than few % of the information. This universe has a sophisticated ecosystem that takes care of the universe, that we call it Devata Vyavastha.
Given that AI works on continuous learning, like you need to have continuous information being fed. How does Panchanga take into account, like say, real time?
Shanai Chara means that is a planet which
moves
walks
slowly.
moves
Charati.
with
Shanai Charati iti Shanesh.
Anashara. Yes.
Shani Ishwara. Like
it's not Shani Ishwara.
Shanai
Shara. Okay.
Shanai, Sanskrit word Shanaihi means
slowly.
60 years, there is a pattern. This universe, that's why we have only 60 names for Samvatsaras. Because pattern actually repeats. This universe